12 News breaking news now.
Good evening. We begin with a major new development in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Reuters is reporting tonight that the FBI has deemed all 3 ransom notes to be fake.
Those notes had been sent to media outlets and shared with the FBI and the Guthrie family. 2 of the notes were sent in early February, while a third was sent just last week. Reuters cites 2 law enforcement sources, with at least one being from the FBI.
Now, Reuters didn't specify exactly how the FBI determined the notes were fake. 12 News and NBC have not been able to verify Reuters' reporting on this. Nancy Guthrie, of course, has been missing since early February. The mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie was last seen at her Tucson home. Anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
We're also following some more breaking news in North Phoenix, where police say 2 people are dead after a shooting near I-17 and the Loop 303. We're told that officers were called to the area around 3:30 this afternoon. They found a man and a woman who had been shot. Both victims died at the scene. Tonight, Sky 12 saw lots of police activity in the neighborhood as detectives investigate. We're still working to learn what led up to the shooting and if there are any suspects. So stay with 12 News for more updates.
New tonight, Tempe police say they've arrested a 51-year-old man for secretly watching and recording women inside their homes. The arrest happening just moments after police say they caught him in the act.
12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling joins us live from Tempe, and she spoke with the Tempe Police Department and neighbors and shares some additional details. Tiani?
Great Bay, Mark. According to court documents, there are 2 victims of these crimes, both Tempe residents. But after speaking with the Tempe Police Department, they believe there could be more victims to these crimes. This is one of the 2 neighborhoods 51-year-old Michael DiBenedetto was seen in, according to recent court documents. He was arrested on June 28th on 2 counts of burglary and 2 counts of voyeurism.
Michael DiBenedetto, 12/17/74.
According to the Tempe Police Department, it was the first victim, a young woman who brought the incident to the police.
The first incident started back in 18th of June, and the most recent happened in the 28th of June.
Court documents say on the night of June 18th, the victim was showering in her home when she first observed a black iPhone with a silver circle in the window above her shower. After looking through security camera footage, the victim observed a bluish-gray Rivian parking near the residence near South Rural Road and East Vista del Cerro Drive. It was then that a male left the vehicle and walked into the alley behind her residence. The suspect, who police believed to be DiBenedetto, was spotted near the victim's home on 3 separate dates. But it was 10 days after the initial incident where DiBenedetto was spotted using mobile surveillance in this Tempe neighborhood. Just near South Hardy Drive and West 16th Street, the Arizona resident was captured taking off his pants and walking up to a window watching a second victim. It was there where he was apprehended by the police, something residents are shocked by.
I don't know, that's just crazy. I mean...
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it at all.
No.
Yeah, it's like a quiet neighborhood too, so...
During DiBenedetto's initial court hearing, prosecutors stated that this was not the first time he had been tied to a crime like this. Accusations the Mesa resident fought.
I am an attorney. I was doing divorce law at the time. I had a client who could not afford a private investigator, and essentially I was doing that for them to save them some money. So yes, I did, observe their spouse.
The judge set a $25,000 secured appearance bond with mandatory electronic monitoring as well as a number of other conditions. Now, this is an active investigation where police are trying to determine other victims. Live in Tempe, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
All right, Tiani, thank you. New at 10, Phoenix police say that a man died on Sunday shortly after being taken into custody. Officers responded to the area of 44th Street and Thomas Road for reports of an injured person. That's where they found 34-year-old Devin Alfred rolling on the ground and hurting himself. Officers say that they placed Alfred in handcuffs to prevent him from harming himself any further. But shortly after being detained, Alfred became unresponsive. He was taken to the hospital where he died. The Maricopa County Medical Examiner is working to determine how Alfred died. Arizona DPS has taken over the investigation.
New tonight, a major development in the fight over a proposed ICE detention center in Surprise. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays and the Department of Homeland Security have agreed to put the state's state's lawsuit to stop the project on hold. Under the deal, the federal government agrees that it won't hold anyone in that warehouse near Dysart and Cactus until it completes an environmental review, something Mays argues should have happened much earlier in the planning phase. It's a win for the Attorney General and one that likely pushes back the timeline for when the facility could open. A federal judge still has to sign off on the agreement before it takes effect.
Sky 12 was back over the Pocket Fire this afternoon as it continues to burn north of Sedona. You can see a massive amount of smoke there still coming from this fire. So far, it's burned more than 15,000 acres with no containment.
The smoky skies and road closures are forcing some people to actually reconsider their plans for the holiday weekend. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is in Sedona with the impact the fire is having on local businesses.
This roundabout on the north side of uptown Sedona is where that closure of State Route 89A begins, leaving everything between here and Flagstaff closed to visitors. A peaceful evening in uptown Sedona.
Enjoying the hiking, the scenery, just the beautiful weather.
Is it masked by the smoky sky that hangs off in the distance?
The wind's blowing north, I guess good for us, maybe not so much for Flagstaff.
7 miles north of here, the Pocket Fire has burned more than 15,000 acres since June 19th and is holding some surrounding communities on a set evacuation warning.
It's on the other side of the ridge.
The fire prompted the closure of State Route 89A in both directions, leaving businesses in Oak Creek Canyon temporarily shut down.
Financially, it have been very impactful.
Briar Patch Inn owner Rob Olson tells me they were forced to evacuate guests and cancel reservations through the July 4th weekend.
A total of about 50 reservations and 120 rental nights that we've lost. It's unfortunate and it's sad because I know a lot of people were looking forward to being here.
While some businesses and hiking trails are closed with no timeline for reopening, much of the Sedona area is still accessible to visitors.
These north trails, places like Soldiers Pass and popular spots like Boynton Canyon and, the infamous Devil's Bridge can't be accessed right now. But if you look at 89A, everything down here is good.
David Key, the president and CEO of Greater Sedona Chamber of Commerce, says visitors may have to rearrange weekend plans, but won't need to cancel altogether.
Obviously, we want everybody to take caution, but everybody is safe in town and can visit comfortably.
And Olson is encouraging people to return once the fire is contained.
Briar Patch is as beautiful as ever, and we're looking forward to welcoming guests back.
Anyone traveling for the weekend is encouraged to keep track of possible changes with the Pocket Fire. Stay with 12 News for the very latest on road closures and fire conditions. In Sedona, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. We are also tracking a new wildfire that's burning below the Grand Canyon's north rim. The Cliff Springs fire has burned 171 acres and is 0% contained. The National Park Service says that the fire was caused by lightning. So far, there are no trail closures there, but visitors can expect to see some smoke for the time being.
All right, let's get to our weather impact forecast with meteorologist Lindsay Riley. And Linz, earlier today, a fire official up there said this could go on for maybe weeks, maybe even months, unless they get some rain. What's that looking like?
Well, unfortunately, the Sedona area does not look like it's going to be getting any rain anytime soon. For the next 7 days at least, the only spot that looks like it could see some rain is out closer to the White Mountains, and that's still several days out. Next Monday and Tuesday is the timeline for that. The next several days, we are going to be completely storm-free across the state. On the Pocket Fire lines tomorrow, as you'll see, starting at 10 a.m. and all the way through 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Temps are going to be in the mid to upper 80s. The wind once again is going to kick up. Now, we don't have a red flag warning in effect for tomorrow, but we can expect gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour. And those winds will be from the southwest. So it's going to be blowing that smoke continually up toward Flagstaff and the Navajo Nation. As you'll see here, our relative humidity extremely low across the state. That's expected to continue. continue. Anywhere in tan here, which is most of northern and eastern Arizona, that is an elevated fire risk for tomorrow. Critical fire danger for parts of northeastern Arizona due to the winds. And you can see up in the mountains, those winds are pretty brisk already at 10 a.m. and they continue through the mid-afternoon. Not as windy here in the valley. I'm also tracking your holiday weekend, and I will have more on that coming up in my full forecast. Mark?
Linz, thanks. In a case that people across the country were watching closely today, the Supreme Court rejected President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. The court left in place the more than a century-long understanding that anyone born in the U.S. is a U.S. citizen, even if that child's parents are not. Still, even after the ruling, Republicans on the Hill signaled that this fight is far from over.
It's one of those things that was intended to serve a noble and important purpose and has been thwarted and overused and abused. And I will say I'm very disappointed in that outcome. I think it subjects the country to serious challenges going forward, and we'll have to deal with it as a Congress.
Today's vote was by a 6-3 margin, with the conservative justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Neil Gorsuch dissenting.
Today, the Supreme Court also paved the way for states to ban transgender athletes from playing on girls' sports teams. The 6-3 ruling said that such bans are legal under both the Constitution and federal law. Arizona is one of 27 states with a transgender sports ban. The ruling had been blocked in federal court, but today's decision essentially ends that challenge and paves the way for the law to take effect. Arizona voters could be asked to implement a bathroom ban as well. That's coming up in November. A Republican ballot referral on that issue is being challenged right now in court.